Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris, and for today we are going to dive into some tarot reading. So for today, what I'm sensing is this desire to get clear on the type of relationship, dynamic, storyline that you're diving into. Where are your limits? What does it look like? What type of interaction and playfulness do you want to tap into? What are your expectations of a relationship and dynamic? What does all of this look like? And so we're going to dive into a little bit of that. I feel like that's something that's being called for right now in your life and your space. And so let's see what Goddess has in store for you. In the meantime, as I'm waiting for these cards to fall out, is there anything that would like to come in the meantime? Well, what I'm getting is really just this messiness of stepping into a relationship. Even the right relationships, you step into it with such messiness. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know something is an issue or something even is a something until you're in it, until you're playing with it and you're like, whoa, you know what? These are actually where my core boundaries are. Like, these are my non-negotiables. These are things that, you know what, I want more of. I like the other things. They're fun, they're playful, they're great. But I actually want more. You know what? I want to take more initiative in this area. Or I want my partner to take more initiative. And so you begin to map it out. How can both of you coexist, creating a world, creating a life, creating just to create something not alone but together? And if you're someone that enjoys parallel play, so you're doing one thing, your partner's doing one thing, and then you have a time where you get to come together and you share the experiences and the journeys that you've been on, and you connect and you see how that feels and how you can support your partner, what your partner is needing, but also the focus being on the relationship and the fact that you both are there together. And that's something that you're into. That type of parallel play is something that you're into. Another one is where, you know what, I like to do my work and we have to go traveling together. Or it's, I want to go out to work and then come back home and sit together with my partner. Or there is, I want to work with my partner and create something with them. Or it's, you know, raising kids and going down that little path of family. And so whatever your vision and desire for relationship and family is, honor it. Play with it. And the thing is, you don't know where and what the pitfalls are until you're actually in it and you're moving through it. Then you start to realize, oh wait, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. And there's actually work that needs to be done. There's something that's even in me that needs to change, that wants to change. And you begin to play with your relationship, to interact with it differently, to move through it differently. I've got the sun at the bottom of the deck, but we're going to keep shuffling. And so this is where life becomes interesting. So you can step into a relationship wanting to go down a path, thinking it's going to be one way. And then you find out that it's not. And you realize, wait, the idea that I had, the thought that I had, it's not that it was good and bad. That's besides the fact. But You didn't know where and what your boundaries were until you got into it. And then you started seeing, wait, am I being too rigid here, or am I being too lenient? Have I just allowed for someone to invade my space and my environment just cuz? Have I given too much in a dynamic, in a situation? Am I being reciprocated? Is that parallel play being reciprocated? All of these questions begin to come to light, because you don't know what you don't know until you're in it. And when you begin to find all of these little nuances, this is when life becomes full of color, because you're also seeing where the shadows are. For you to even color something in, you don't know where the boundaries are, where the black, dark lines are for you to fill them in with color. It's in the shadow, in this unknown, that you fill it with light and color, that you shine a certain fractal, a certain prism that just shines that light, that beauty, that essence. And you play with this. This is what you play with. So, genuinely, have fun playing with it. And if something is too much for you, there's nothing wrong with stepping back. Please use your discernment. Do not take this as a confirmation as, oh, I should stay in a toxic relationship, or oh, I should, continue to push and force a relationship that this person actually doesn't want to be in, or I don't want to be in, like, doesn't matter. Like, please be very discerning of and owning your so being accountable for your actions, and for how you're stepping into a relationship, how you're stepping into a dynamic. Please take accountability for the way that you're showing up. Not every relationship is going to be easy. Whether it's challenging at first or challenging till the day you die, like whatever that relationship dynamic is, it has room to breathe. It will continue to breathe. Sometimes it will feel contracted. Sometimes it'll feel expanded. Sometimes it feels engulfing, and you get lost in it, right? And it's also being able to give yourself the space to hold that space for yourself, to acknowledge what your needs are, what your desires are. Each point and stage of your life, it looks different. What you once had tolerance for, at some point you don't. And then what you thought you could never have tolerance for, all of a sudden you do. And life just changes. You begin to change. But I want you to dare yourself in a way. Please do it with caution, of course. Dare yourself to step in and lean into your relationship. Lean into love. Lean into expansion. Lean into creativity. Genuinely step into who you are. Fall in love with someone. Get lost in it. And then find yourselves again. Go through all the upheavals. Go through all the downfalls. Have fun. Genuinely play with life. Play with your relationship. Play. Have fun. And that's the one thing with relationships. It's giving the space for play. And how can you invite in play? How can you create a beautiful experience for someone? How can you create beauty? How can you exist in these spaces? What are the spaces that you do want to exist in? Ask yourself these questions and truly indulge in these paths. Indulge in the curiosity of what you want to experience. and listen to each stage of your life, wherever you want to go at each stage. Honor it, respect it, and the same goes for your partner, or for your friend, or for your family. The same, extend that for them as well. As much as we are the heroes of our lives, we are also the side characters to other people's lives. And so have fun indulging in that little side character role. And please do it with caution, because for some, being the side character is a bit of your what is it? Uh, it's like you begin to just give too much of yourself, and you forget that you're even your own hero of your own story. So play with it, and please be discerning of how you wish to play with life and play through life. But just allow yourself to move through whatever is coming through, and genuinely look, observe, feel, grow, expand, and you will find yourself in every way possible. You'll forget that you've even forgotten people that you've given your word to. The card that fell out is the Empress, right? Yes, Empress. And so I'm going to just put this down for one moment. Yeah, so remember that, you know what, it is actually important to bring her out. The Empress. So with this Empress, it's really getting curious about life, getting curious about the fact that the thing with the mother, she is not just a side character, but she gives. She purely shows up and she gives. She'll move earth and mountains, and that was not the right saying, but again, I know you know what it is. She'll move mountains to make it happen. She'll create a whole world for you. And the thing is, you know that she's doing this for you. And she does it with such purity, with such grace, with such love. And we're starting to see even our fathers do the same too. Giving with such purity in this sense. With such effortless nature, with such presence, with such beauty. And we wonder, oh, should we actually extend ourselves like this? Is it okay that we do? How do we find ourselves and still be a main character as well as a side character? How are we side characters in other people's lives and also still feel like we are valued and honored and not forgotten in our own lives? Sometimes you may even get so lost in telling the story of someone else and supporting someone else in their growth, in their journey, in their vision, that you forget to feed into yourself and have people feed into you, have people take care of you. Where are those spaces that you are wanting and needing to go into? There's a beautiful interplay with being the one that goes out to find the means to support a family. And then there's the part where you are the heartbeat of the family, which is the Empress. You are the heartbeat of the family. If it wasn't for this inspiration, this heartbeat, this rhythm that you hear, you're not going to go and do the thing that you are needing to do. You're not going to go and fulfill the journey, fulfill the mission. And so it's important for you to really step into yourself. To know that as much as you give to someone, they will give back to you in the best way that they know how to. And when that is not met by this one individual and it's not reciprocated, you will receive it in another way from another force of nature around you. This energy will never be one way, it is always reflected back to you. It's, yeah. I was gonna say something, but I feel like this just really covers it. So let's see what else that Goddess wants to come through with today. Oh, on the bottom of the deck is the Fool. So I really like that little bit, as I feel like with the Fool, I just want to touch on it a little bit. With the Fool, it's really understanding that the idea that you thought that you couldn't step into and you never thought yourself to do it. You never thought that you can embody this vision, this sight, this dream, this archetype, this character. You're finally leaning into it and you're like, this is much more complicated than I thought. I didn't know that this was what was entailed in being in a dynamic and playing this role, in this dynamic, in this relationship. And with the Fool, it's not only that you've taken the step in, but it's also that something keeps pulling you back into this desire and this curiosity of living the full extent of it, the full expression of this Fool, of this vision. You're desiring to experience the fullness that is you. That is something quite beautiful and magical. So I feel like that's just a little important part under the Empress that wanted to be highlighted. And the thing is, please, like, I know that this message isn't very black and white, and it's teeter-tottering in a little bit of this gray area. So please do take what does resonate for you, and whatever doesn't, leave it behind. If any of this message feels a little bit too it's not clear, it's not giving you the clear answer, the response that you're looking for, like, of course, disregard it. Like, it's not helpful to keep going down a path that feels confusing, right? And usually around that time when you are confused and it's things aren't clear, the action typically is going inwards, and it's ensuring that you give yourself the space and the time to draw that distance from everything around you, to stop taking in and putting your energy into forces, into relationships, into dynamics that just aren't serving you at the moment, and it's just causing a little bit more confusion. And so giving yourself the space and the time to go inwards and to reflect what you're needing. If you are needing a little bit of something to be fed into you, then go and create that system. And there are resources, there's places that you can go to. Like, do the research, really contemplate on what you're wanting to do, and make sure it's important. As much as it is important for you to give and serve to others, it's also important for you to give to yourself. And sometimes it's not enough just by going to sleep. Giving yourself that little bedtime rest is not enough, but it's an activity that is just for you. And it's not, you're calling your friends in once in a while, sure, but it's genuinely an activity, a hobby, a something that is purely for your own pure enjoyment, and that you don't have to explain that it's for you. It just is. If someone wants to savor and be right beside you as you do this, sure, but at the same time, block everyone out and it's for you. Please give yourself that. Now, of course, I know things are different, especially when you have kids in your life. Things do look differently, and this advice may not be ideal for that. So please do take it in with a little bit of discernment on what's needing. There is a card that partially flipped. I am going to take it out. There's one that went sideways too. Okay. I feel like they really play together. So I'm going to play with this a little bit. So the Nine of Cups is what partially flipped out. And then we got the Wheel of Fortune. This one was crossing it sideways. So with these two cards, it's an unexpected way that you are experiencing bliss, that you're experiencing the pleasure that you've been wanting to have. The idea, the story that you've been wanting and that you've been playing with, the dynamic in the relationship that's happening, the script is changing. The idea, sorry, I keep repeating myself. I really apologize, but at the same time, these words are what keeps repeating, so I'm going to keep going with it. But so these two, the way that you feel in your situation, it's changing. It's an unexpected way that your partner may even be more receptive to you just as much as you're opening yourself up and being more receptive to them. You're actually acknowledging them, and you're acknowledging that they're limited in some way or that they're going through a challenge, and you're able to hear it differently than you used to. You're not as reactive as you used to be with them in this situation. You're more, I won't say you're lenient, but it's like, you know what? I'm going to hold space for you, but you need to deal with it. I cannot be the one to give you that solution. And just because you have, so either you have done that or you have, so either you've done that or, dang it, why can't I find the words? Okay, I'm going to try my best. So either you've done that or you've just said, you know what, you haven't had that conversation with them, and it's just an internal thing that's happening in your mind, and you're moving through all of these layers, and you're saying, you know what, I'm done with experiencing that part of the relationship. I'm done with pulling in all the weight. I'm done with checking in all the time when I'm not receiving the same type of experience. And so because you've been retracting a lot of your energy, now your partner is showing up and they're becoming more present, and you're like, what the heck is happening? Like, did I really have to be mean and not so attentive for you to come back and give me the thing that I want? And it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing, but at the same time, this is just a confirmation that you are receiving what you are here to receive. That you are worthy of this love, that you are worthy of this attention, of this experience. And you yourself have opened up to this. It's not that only your partner has opened up to you and being more receptive of you, but you have opened up to your own desire of relationship, your own integrity, your own boundaries, your own way of living and existing. And you've accepted it. Finally, you have accepted it and opened up to it. And now your love story is changing. Your dynamic is changing. Your relationship is changing. I do understand I am speaking a little bit more on love rather than it just being like a romantic partnership rather than it being a parent family type of situation or friends. But it also can be applied to that those other type of relationships as well. It just, this is where it becomes a little bit more well, the focus being even in other relationships, whether it be with your kids or your family or your friends, it's that you're opening yourself up to what you're worthy of. You yourself are noticing what your worthiness is, and because you're emanating this power, your family, your friends are changing their habits and behaviors to adapt to you because they genuinely do enjoy being around you. And it sucks that you had to do this. It sucks that you had to not give so much when you genuinely enjoy it. It really sucks. At the same time, this is where you begin to really contemplate on how much further that you want this to go to. How far do you want something to go? Is it worthy of going as far? And all of that, it's up to you to decide. And of course, I'm not saying abandon your kids. No, no, none of that. Kids are kids, and things are going to be the way they are with kids. So that's where that is. But please take a bit more responsibility for the way that you're showing up in your life. And what I mean by that is if someone is not giving you the attention or showing up emotionally, call them out on it. And if you technically you don't have to, because if they're not, just leave. Of course, don't entertain it. Walk away, step away. And if you do want it to shift and you want it to be a conversation, then have that conversation. But please make sure that it is for you as well. Like, do not abandon yourself. And if you don't know how to have a conversation around it, give it some time. Contemplate on what that conversation may look like. And I know this isn't for everyone, and I know a lot of people don't contemplate on these things. And so, really, just be a bit more discerning of what it is that you're looking for in your dynamic, in your relationship, and how you do want to show up in it. And honor yourself, because it could be that you want someone to show up with a little bit more integrity, with better boundaries, with availability, with space and attention. And the thing is, what if you're not giving that to yourself either? You know, but this doesn't excuse that, oh, you should be accepting like breadcrumbs from someone just because that's how you're treating yourself. None of that BS. Like, yes, they are mirrors. Yes, people are outside of you are mirrors to you on how the relationship that you have with yourself. At the same time, um, there is such a thing as doing too much shadow work, where you just end up doing shadow work and you're not productive in any way, and you're not making money, you're not able to serve and tend to your basic needs. And the line's got to get drawn somewhere. Like, at some point things do have to be black and white. At some point it does. So please, 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 please be discerning of the way that you show up in your relationship, the way that you show up in your dynamics. And of course, please go to therapy if that's where you need to go and that's something that you absolutely need to do. Please respect yourself and honor yourself and honor the way that you show up in your life, because this is it. This is the life. This is the experience. This is the human lived experience. And you're going to hear so many stories. You're going to hear so many inputs. And when you're taking in so much, always take away. Release yourself from all of these conversations, all of these stories, so much inputs, and give yourself the space and the time and the environment, just as much as you give others space to do whatever shit it is and figure it out. Sorry for my swearing. But to figure their mess out, please give yourself that courtesy and give yourself that space, because sometimes you do need it. So really honor yourself in the way that you're showing up in your relationship, in the way that you're showing up in your dynamics. There's going to be one more card I'm going to be pulling. It's going to be from the Moonology deck. And I feel like it's a great way to really end off this video. Just a little extra something. So let's see what Goddess has in store for you in this message. The thing with the moon is, what I like about this energy is the fact that it really, it gives you some insight into the potential emotional challenge that you're facing, because whether you're aware of it or not, to a certain degree, you are affected by the moon and the energy in those forces. You are nature. So just as much as the earth and the moon and the way the cosmos was built, it's with these elements, and the very same elements exist within us. And so we are quite receptive, and we do move not only along with our community globally or society wise, but also nature as well. Nature does play games with us, and we also play games with them too, right? And so if you really are called to it, of course, draw and have a relationship, build a relationship with the moon, with nature, and take in bits and pieces of what it is that you really like to resonate with. And at some point in your life, one is going to be more in resonance than the other. And so honor it, respect it, play with it, be curious, get to know yourself. Whatever message comes through in whichever way, it's for your highest alignment and your highest receptivity to life. So please do play with life. Play with it. Play with yourself. See what you are available for. And, well, okay, I'm going to keep going. Fine. Yeah, so allow yourself to be playful. Because when you're playful, you begin to be creative. And when you play with the moon, you play with the cycles, the cyclical nature, the month to month, to following through on certain scripts that are written in the cosmos. And each stage of evolution, those scripts change. There's a little variation to it. Even if all the stars are aligned and all the planets are in that alignment, there is a little script that changes at every stage. And that just means that you're opening up to growth. And it allows you to evaluate where you have grown, where you have shifted, and how you've shifted into it. It allows you to make different choices. It allows you to understand that, oh wait, not just understand, but acknowledge the journey that you've been on, to hold that space, to hold the space that, you know what, at that stage of my life, I was messy and I had nothing to hold on to. Now I actually have a foundation that I've built since then. So really allow yourself to acknowledge the way that you're holding space for yourself. This then allows you to translate that into how you've showed up in your relationships. And it allows you to extend into that. But more than that, it's really coming back to your own it's really coming back to your own inner world and understanding more of who you are. What is this? Look at the bigger picture. Sagittarius full moon. I'm gonna be reading the message in the book for this. Where is it? No. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minutia can be counter, uh, counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you think? What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thoughts you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. So when you're tuning to the moon, take time out of a mini break or take time out for a mini break or adventure. Right? So you're just being reminded to take a look at the bigger picture, that you're going on a journey, that you've agreed to step into this journey. Of course, you do have the option to step out, to take a break, to put a hold on everything, but it does not mean it is required for you to disrupt everything. Now, to a certain degree, yes, that actually might be the answer, and that you do need to disrupt everything. But that disruption means you are putting a break on, you've been just on this on go, you've been just on a go, 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 go basis. And you're putting a hold onto life. And you're saying, I need to reflect because I'm actually a little lost here. Yes, I actually even forgot what the bigger picture was. You know what? Wait, I actually didn't even think about what the bigger picture was. What is the big picture? I never thought that I even had to think about it. I just thought that this was what it was. And so, really give yourself the space and the time to contemplate on it. Contemplate on where you are in your life. What is the relationship that you have with yourself? It is important for you to acknowledge the relationship you have with yourself, to acknowledge the relationship that you are stepping into. You cannot step into anything without understanding who you are. Without that alignment, without that knowingness of who you are, it becomes challenging and fraying to step into other dynamics, and it begins to eat away at you. It begins to be a weight that you cannot drop off, because you know that the moment you drop it off, you let go of that weight, you're not steady anymore. And it can be quite disorienting. But even before you even decide anything, this time, at this moment, it's not about deciding. It's about giving yourself the space to contemplate on where you are, and then ask yourself where you want to go. And then move with that. Give yourself that grace. You give that grace, you extend yourself to others. It's about time that you extend yourself within. Okay? Expand yourself within. So, with that little bit, I truly hope that this message, that there was something valuable for you to take away with. And it's provided you with a little extra something, a little extra confidence, a little reassurance in the path and the journey that you're stepping into in your life. I truly hope that you are guided more deeply into your path, and more allowing yourself to be more in reverence to you. And so with this little bit, I'm going to be leaving the message here. I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.